And so I can go into the highlight color, and I can round the toe off. I don't know if you can see it or not. But as the toes will go lower, I can get 4 little bitty toes and 1 great toe. And then in the other foot, I can give the highlight, and then the tips of 4 little bitty toes, because I don't want them to be that defined. Now I can pick up my bigger brush that I had. I'm cleaning my brush, this small brush, out now. I can pick up the bigger brush that I had, the flat, short flat. I can use this, and I can go into the highlight color. I'll use the highlight color first, because it's pinker than I anticipated. And so I can go ahead and go around the foot, and that way when I add some other things, it can be defined that way. And pardon me if I'm misusing certain words. I'm trying to stay interesting. Now, as far as a child's foot having like a high arch or anything, their feet aren't developed enough, I don't think, for that to manifest itself. Of course it might. I ain't no doctor, so I don't know. All I know is what I'm painting. So and the feet, the bottom of the feet, if they're too long or wide, I'll be cutting them down when I paint this part in. Let's go ahead and do this part right here too. If you notice, I'm leaving this area out here past the leg. That way it gives me a little bit more room if I need it. I'm going to thin my paint down just a small bit, just to give it a little bit more so I can manipulate it better. If you enjoy these videos, I do encourage you to subscribe. These aren't done all the time, but when they're done, I enjoy them, and I hope you do. You that watch. I even sometimes watch my own videos, and I find where I can do things better, and I try to do things better. Try to stay informed, and try to inform of what I do and why I do what I do. And if you notice, a lot of this is going to end up in shadow. And I sort of underestimated this color, this tone. To me, I thought it was going to be a highlight, but it seemed to be working very well as a middle light, you know, the middle tone, which I can use it as the middle tone. It gives me that particularness that I want, that I was looking for in the child's face. Like I had said that I didn't want to go all the way out to where I had painted the child's face to begin with into underpainting. So this particular color right here I'm using, it's working very well for that purpose. No longer do I want it to be the highlight. I want it to be, you know, that color that all color, that color that goes anywhere and is I can use it the way I need it to be used. And I can come back in with a brighter version of it, a better brightness to it. I'm going to go ahead and paint over his little lips. That way I can judge better where his nose will go, the bottom of his nose in relation to his mouth. And I can go ahead and cut this part out and that part out. And I can see it a little bit better than it being stuck right there. Because like I said, I want this to look as real as possible, but at the same time a painting. I want people to recognize that it's a painting, not a photograph. But I want it, I guess I want, perhaps I want too much from it, but I'm trying to give it my all in the way that I think it should do. And on the top of his head, I'm just going to add that. That lets me know that his head is round, of course, but his hair just can't be painted in. It's got to come down following the shape of his head, which is obviously round. And now I can you know, rework some of the light in these different places like this. Yeah, I think it turned out very much better than I thought it would. So let's go ahead and try to fix this nose a little bit. I'm gonna wash my brush, and I'm gonna use the same brush that I used to put in the fingers and the toes. I'm gonna dip it down in my thinner one good time, and excuse me, I'm going to go back into the shadow color of blue, red, and green, and I'm going to just, well, I got to get my mom stick now because all that's wet. This is not a definitive nose structure. All this is to let me know where it would go. So if his eyes are right here, his nose isn't going to be that big. So I could just do, a shadow of it right here. And the nose is like the features of the face. It's not very definitive at first. It's there, but it's not definitive. So that can serve as a shadow to the nose. And or the under the nose part. And this, of course, the bridge of the nose isn't that defined as well, so I can just add this to it. And the last thing I want to do is add a full-grown man's nose to a little baby's face. That's the last thing I want. So I'm trying to tiptoe my way around it, because I don't want to have to repaint the face. I don't want to have to go over the face, because I don't want to lose the roundness that I've got in the cheeks. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to define where some eye would be and the nose would be and different things. But anyway, I'm not going to stand here and try to define the child's face as though it were already had features showing up. So the best thing I feel I can do right now that would be more beneficial to my overall pictorial presentation is to blend these softly. To blend them softly, softer than they actually are, so that if I don't like it, it's not going to be no trouble to go over it. So let's try it this way. Alright, a child's nose has the cartilage to it, but it's not in a definitive manner. It's I'm not trying to paint it as a big person nose, but I'm not trying to stick it on there and define it. I'm trying to define it as a small child's nose. It's got the underneath of it. That part I can blend out. Then I wanted to have this one highlight of the nose, but not to the point where it's glaring out. I don't think my other brush will work for blending this in, so let me find a better blender brush that I can use. Somewhat different blender brush. I wonder if I can use this one. Let's try this. Let's try it bigger than what it really is. We're just going to go with it. Because I find if I'm trying to do it, I'm making it smaller than what I need it. So we're just going to try it this way. And that looks awful. That looks like a Well, it looks like something. So, instead of trying to define it with light, it's there. It's been put in. I put it in. And now I'm going to clean my brush out. I'm going to take more of the green, small touch of the blue, and a small touch of the red. I'm making more of the shadow color on the softer side, just like I did with this down here. And we're going to try this. And if it doesn't work well, then we'll fix that as well. But down here, you take some of this off. Let's define this area down here. Taking my finger and rubbing some of it off. And that looks like an adult nose, but it'll have to work for right now anyway. I'm going to use this to cut down on that line, and I think it'll work, I hope. Yes, sweetie. That somewhat works, doesn't it? I think it'll work better. My son's in here watching us. He's trying to paint, so we're gonna let him paint. Come on.
No.
You don't want to paint? All right. So, along with that, when that shadow's done, I'll go ahead and wash my brush out. And he has captured the mall stick, people. He has captured the mall stick. I'm going to go back into the light that I was using, the lighter flesh that I had intended for a highlight, but works better as just a regular light. I'm going to go back into it, and I'm going to define the nose a little bit more. The length of it is there, but what I want is the nostrils. I just want them there, just defined them. Just, you know, to say, hey, you can breathe. You don't have to be, like I said, a full-grown man's nose. The highlight will take care of it. It's just got to be there. This right in here is too sharp for me, so I'm going to blend it down. And I can blend that down a little bit better. And that'll work for me. I can take a different brush and go down this way, and I can pull out more of the paint that's in the way, so that when I do come in and give it a highlight, I don't have to worry about the shadow color hitting it or getting in it, mixing with it. Of course, if it's possible I made it too small again, but if I did, then I can, hopefully we can fix that too.
Shoot. Mine!
Now I'm got to clean my other brush out, and we can work on the different facets of the face. So now